I am here today to review Avatar: The Way of Water. It's 13 years from the original Avatar, and I wanted to talk about my thoughts on the movie. I've watched the movie several times, and it is an absolute cinematic masterpiece. It is definitely the most beautiful movie I've ever seen. And the consensus throughout, all of social media and people that I've talked to says the same thing. Now, I've heard a couple of people talk about the plot versus the first Avatar, and how simplistic it is. And there's been a lot of great movies in the history of filmmaking that have had simple plots and they've been amazing movies. Avatar 2, The Way of Water, is one of those movies. I've heard a couple people ask on Twitter, it was different than the first one. It should be, because in the first one you're telling a story about life, right? And about this beautiful world, Pandora. In the first one, you have Jake Sully, who basically has infiltrated the Na'vi for corporate gain. They had natural resources there in Pandora. The Na'vi had natural resources that they wanted. In doing so, Jake Sully found himself. He found out who he really was. So it was really about the transformation of Jake Sully in the first one, and how corporate greed and the military can try to come over and take over this beautiful place. Now in Avatar 2, Way of the Water, Jake Sully, he is a natural progression, man. He became a father, he became a husband. So of course it's going to be different. It's showing Jake Sully as a man who is a leader of his tribe, but also a leader of his family. He's a family man. So of course the movie is a little bit different, because Jake Sully is different. Now the thing that you're going to see a lot, and that you're going to notice a lot in Avatar 2, Way of the Water, is there's a lot of focus on his kids. A lot of focus on his kids and the struggles that they go through, and them coming up and growing up. So yeah, this movie is about family. You see in Avatar 2, The Way of Water, the Sully kids actually step up and take a huge role in this movie. And I can see that for future movies, how they're probably going to become more and more of the focus of the story. So I think James Cameron is setting up Avatar to do that, because a good chunk of this movie is definitely dedicated to the Sully kids. So Jake and the Tiri's kids, typical kids, man. If you're a parent, they do what kids do, man. Parents tell you not to do something, you go ahead and do it anyway. Just wondering as a kid, I don't know why my parents don't want me to do that, or I'm gonna get on my parents' nerves. That's what they do. It's real life, man. It is. I have children. Did my kids do things to get on my nerves and their mom's nerves? Yes. Do Jake and the Tiri's kids do things to get on their nerves and to do things to go against the wishes of their parents? Yes. Just like kids in real life. The Sky People return, and they definitely return ready. They have been defeated the first time, and they're back for revenge. Now, Jake Sully is a natural progression of who he is as a man. He has changed from someone who was a soldier and let's fight and let's go after these people, to a father who is in defense mode. He wants to protect his kids. He wants to protect his family. So the Sky People come back, and they want the main focus for them is Jake Sully. Well, the one person in particular, his main focus is Jake Sully. Now they do bring back the arch nemesis of Jake Sully, the Colonel. They bring him back in this movie, and if you're wondering, because he died in the first one, this right here is a spoiler. They bring him back as an avatar. They put him in an avatar body. So what they did was they downloaded his memory and they brought him back as an avatar. Now he's hell bent on finding Jake Sully and taking revenge. He wants revenge. And understandably so. From his point of view, Jake Sully's a traitor. You know, there's no getting around it. From his point of view as a soldier, Jake Sully was a soldier, and Jake Sully is a traitor in his point of view, the way he sees it. And he was a great villain in the first one. He's a great villain in the second one. And Jake Sully understands this, and he feels like, I need to do something to protect my family. And that's what he does. He protects his family, or he tries to. So that's the difference. Now, when the Sullys, when they leave the forest and they go to the water clan or their ocean clan, they have to learn their ways, because the ocean people, obviously their bodies have adapted to living in the water. They're able to hold their breath underwater for long periods of time. They have very, very strong swimming capabilities. They are in tune and connected to the water, where Jake Sully and his family was the same thing with the forest. They were in tune and connected with the forest. Now, in this Avatar 2, The Way of Water, Jake Sully has 5 children. He has 5 kids. He has 3 children of his own and 2 adopted kids. And now Sigourney Weaver is back in the second one. Now, as we know, she died in the first one, but she is back as a child, Kiri, which happens to be an adopted child of Jake Sully. Now, the natural question is, Kiri is basically Sigourney Weaver's child. So how was she pregnant, or who got her pregnant in the first Avatar? My theory, and I've heard some other people say this theory, but right after the movie, me and my son's theory was it was Iwa, because Sigourney Weaver's character in this movie is highly in tuned and connected with Iwa, that connection that no other kid has. So it led me to believe, okay, Iwa is the father. This movie is what filmmaking is about. It is a beautiful movie. It is a masterpiece. And the simplicity of the story, I still like it. I'm a father myself. So, yeah, I understand that, you know, as a father, you want to protect your family. And you grow as a person. Most people that I know can relate to this, because you're not the same person as you were when you were a teenager, maybe in your 20s or early 20s. You have children, you have a family. Your outlook on life, your outlook changes. So you do, and that's most parents, right? You change when you have children. So in Avatar 2, Jake Sully is no different than most parents. Probably 99% of the parents out there in this world want to protect their family and want to protect their children. I would say 99% of the people out there who have families want peace and safety for their families. Jake Sully is no different. Do I think that this Avatar is better than the first one? The first one, the CGI was groundbreaking. Absolutely groundbreaking. Never seen a movie like that in my life. The CGI in Way of Water, taken to a whole new level. Unlike any other CGI you've ever seen, breathtaking, magnificent, a masterpiece. James Cameron has done it once again. He's taken movie making to a whole new level. Ooh, boy came out swinging with this one. It's like, okay. CGI has come a long way now, and I think because of the first Avatar, you know, they set the bar much higher. This Avatar 2 has, to me, set the bar even higher. It is the best looking CGI movie I've ever seen, and it's putting everyone on notice. Like, man, you really need to step your CGI game up because this looks amazing. You feel like you are in Pandora, especially if you see it in 3D. Now, I saw it in both 2D and 3D. 3D, you're like immersed in the world. Now 2D, just seeing it, you know, in 2D, beautiful. So this is the pool of where I live. What do I give Avatar 2? Out of 5 stars, I give it a perfect rating of 5 stars. Now, everyone is not going to be happy with the simplicity of the movie. It's about family. A lot of it is about family. On the side of the Colonel, it's about revenge, but on the Sully side, it's about family and protecting their family. It's about culture. It's about different ways of life. It's beautiful. It's about marine life. It's about the life of the water and how, unfortunately, there's people out there that want to disrupt that life. So it's simplistic in that way, but the majority of the movies that I love are very, very simple. So you're not going to please everyone because, you know, guess what? The movie's too complex, the movie's too simple, the movie's too this, it's too that. My movie review of Avatar, The Way of the Water, absolutely brilliant. It's a masterpiece. I absolutely love it. It's the prettiest and the most beautiful movie I've ever seen in my life. I highly recommend it. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. And I'm B&B, Black Man Boating.